Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Andrews here, and I have some science to upload for you. I hope you've enjoyed doing Sounds of Science, as you all have done a couple of labs. One of them being our straw lab, and then the second one with you all doing pitch and frequency with the ruler, as you are seeing where the high and the low sound, how that was created. So hopefully you've been playing music. Something a little bit like that, and have been enjoying that. Um, and hopefully, we learned that the longer and farther away it is with this reed wind instrument, that we got the low pitch, and for the high pitch, it was closer to our mouth and it was shorter, which is kind of like a flute and a piccolo. In music class, the kids have been learning about instruments and the different groups of them. So we're continuing that actually in our science. Ms. Shawnee and I have talked a lot about this, and so we are going to be taking notes. This is uploaded for you online. We're going to read about the wind instruments, the stringed instruments, and the percussion instruments. And I am sharing with you from this book called Sound. It's a nonfiction book, and we have been talking about that sometimes we don't want to read the whole thing if it's a nonfiction book. So we can use a nonfiction feature called the index, and I know that y'all have heard about that before, which is at the back of the book. So that's what I'm going to do. It's in numerical order. This is very important, like when we're doing research, as we're going to start doing in February of our president. We're going to look up those topics so that we can find the information that we need. And so we want to know about instruments. And so I have found instruments in here, and it talks about the percussion, the stringed, and the wind instruments. They start on page 28. So as I read, you can take notes on your making music. This is what we're doing here at school as well. Wind instruments. Wind instruments work by blowing into them. They are usually made of wood or metal. You may have played a recorder at school or at home. A recorder is a plastic wind instrument. Oboes, clarinets, and saxophones are some examples of woodwinds. A thin piece of wood, called a reed, is used in the mouthpiece. Blowing into the mouthpiece makes the reed vibrate. The reed passes the vibrations to the air inside the instrument. The note that is played depends on the length of the column of vibrating air. A longer column of air makes a lower pitched note, just like our ruler experiment. A shorter column of air makes a higher pitched note. Pushing on a key on the instrument changes the length of the air column inside. The wood or plastic of the wood instrument also vibrates. This helps give the instrument its unique sound. Some wind instruments are made of a metal called brass. Trumpets, trombones, and tubas are brass instruments. Brass instruments do not have reeds. The person playing the instrument blows into the mouthpiece. The player's lips vibrate. The vibration is passed on to the air inside the instrument. The tube of the instrument has curves to make the column of air inside longer. Most brass wind instruments also have keys to push in order to play different notes. And maybe you have some of those instruments at home. The next is called the stringed instruments. Stringed instruments are played by plucking or strumming. Violins, string basses, and guitars are instruments with strings. Violins and bass strings are played with a bow or by plucking with their fingers. A guitar works with vibrating metal or plastic strings. Plucking or strumming the guitar strings causes them to vibrate. The air inside the guitar and the guitar itself vibrate too. The pitch of the guitar strings depends on their thickness, tightness, and length. Remember that faster vibrations make higher pitch sounds, and thinner, tighter, or shorter strings vibrate faster. They make higher pitched sounds on the guitar. Thicker, looser, or longer strings vibrate slower. They make lower pitched sounds. Turning the keys of the guitar makes the strings tighter or looser. Guitar players place their fingers on the strings to create different string lengths. Notes and chords are played with the fingers in different positions on the strings. And our last group of instruments that we're going to learn about are percussion instruments, like the drum. What comes to mind when you think of percussion instruments? Drums? Cymbals? Did you know that a piano is also a percussion instrument? Percussion instruments are those that are played by hitting or shaking materials so that they vibrate. When the piano key is pushed down, a mallet or a hammer strikes a metal string inside. The string vibrates. The air inside the piano and the piano wood itself vibrate, creating a sound. The top of a drum is covered with a thin skin. Turning the keys will tighten or loosen the skin. A tighter skin makes a higher pitched sound, kind of like on a guitar. It vibrates faster when hit with a drumstick. A looser skin makes a lower pitched sound. It vibrates slower when struck. A drum's pitch also depends on the size of the drum. The bigger the drum, the lower the pitch. More air is vibrating inside of the drum. The lower the drum, the smaller the drum, the higher the pitch. Less air is vibrating inside the drum. Xylophones, cymbals, and bells are also percussion instruments. Xylophones are wooden or metal bars struck with a mallet. Different lengths of wood or metal create different pitches when hit. Cymbals are large metal discs that are banged together to make different sounds. Bells are metal cup-shaped instruments that are struck to produce sounds. Maracas and shakers are two percussion instruments that are shaken to make sounds. Maracas are rounded containers with handles. Inside the maracas, small items such as dried beans strike the sides of the container when the maracas are shaken. This produces vibrations. Shakers come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and materials. They work the same way that maracas do. And here's a picture of some maracas. I hope that you were able to learn and be able to take some notes on your wind, stringed, and percussion instruments, because you are going to be choosing your own instrument to create. And I have uploaded some websites on my personal classroom website. If you go to the Walnut Ridge Bobcats page, you can go to Jenny Andrews 4th grade, and under the educational sites, I have some science websites for all kinds of instruments for you to make. And you're going to choose one, and you have to create it, and then you are going to have to be able to change the pitch to make a high-pitched sound, and you're going to have to tell me how to do that. And you're going to have to make a low-pitched sound and tell me how to do that. And I would like you to take a video of yourself doing this so that you can send that to me. For one, I'd like to see your pretty smiling faces. And also, it's something I've got to be able to hear. So enjoy making your instruments. And I will have another book for you guys to listen to. It'll actually be a fiction book tomorrow. Thank you.